talked a lot about Austin Hill, and right now being the regular season points leader, let's listen in to the radio communication before we get the green.
Just wanted to holler at you. Y'all have a good day there. Guys, take care up on pit road.
Appreciate it. Well, let's go win this damn thing here. Let's do it.
It's interesting when you hear Richard Childress, that was RC, coming over the radio and giving them a little pep talk before we get the green flag. Take a look at the playoff standings for the Xfinity Series. You have two drivers right now with Austin Hill, John Hunter Nemechek, both with 4 wins. Those two fighting right now for that regular season championship. And then the battle right there on the cut line. Sheldon Creed, Parker Kligerman, they're separated by 22 points. And each position on the racetrack is a point. 2 by 2, they come to the green flag as 2 Junior Motorsports drivers, Josh Berry, Justin Allgaier, take the green here at Michigan. Multiple lines around this racetrack as we see Allgaier surging ahead as they go through 1 and 2.
Well, I thought Josh Berry had a good enough jump there. He just didn't have any help. Justin Allgaier got a little bit of a push that propelled him on. And, man, I don't think he ever thought about lifting going through turn 1 and 2 to take the lead.
Fight for third right now as Austin Hill in the 21 tries to get by Sam Mayer in the 1. Look how far apart they are as they cross the start-finish line.
Austin's going to slot right back in front of the 16 car after not able to make that pass down the front straightaway. You don't want to enter turn 1 on the bottom. It's a little bit slick. Tough to commit into the corner underneath somebody into turn 1. So if you can get back in line, you try to do that before the corner. Here's some good racing here back in the pack.
Parker Kligerman, Sheldon Creed, those two guys right now fighting along the bubble.
Ross Chastain trying out that resin up high that we talked about in the pre-race. Made a decent corner out of it.
And one thing that we'll talk about a little bit here, but you get a real drafting effect. We talk about speed here, so you can find yourself, you get yourself down the bottom with no help. You find yourself kind of left out, and you feel like that you've lost horsepower, so you just have to utilize that draft and that extra ability that you have with that at your best, in your best chances to try to move forward.
And the side draft is massive as well. DJ down the straightaway, looking to the inside of people or on the outside of people. You get slowed down by the side draft big time. You got to look in the mirror. There's big runs coming behind you when cars are running side by side.
You see this move right here. When you make this move going to the bottom, it feels great when you drive underneath somebody, but where are you going to go? So when you get a little bit of contact, when you get to the corner, can you clear? So the 77 of Hocefer, he knows his job right now is just to stay alongside, because if he does, he's going to beat Sammy Smith down the back straightaway because of just momentum that you build on that outside line.
Carson Hocevar in the 77, just clearing Sammy Smith there in the 18. Now we see Brandon Jones in the 9 with Ryan Sieg in the 39 on his inside. Multiple different lines.
Oh, car
slide.
spinning out. The 26.
26 goes around. And so Kaz Grala catches it, but the caution comes out as he makes it into the grass. He was running 18th when he spun.
Caught the grass a little bit with the right front splitter. Hopefully not too much damage there.
You guys kept talking about running the inside versus the outside. Junior mentioned the side draft. The negative of that is this. So when you're underneath somebody, there's no side force on the car. You see the 2 right behind him. That's taking down force off his car. The car on the outside taking side force off the car. He just lost rear grip and around it went.
Yeah, great job by Jeb Burton right there to avoid hitting the 26 car right there. But, you know, probably more attention's been paid to the Cup cars and the side drafting they do and what effects you have with the inside car versus the outside car, how the air moves. Well, this is just the opposite. The inside car, Jeff, everything you were just saying, takes that down force away. Down force, side force, everything is gone, and you're carrying a lot of speed trying to stay in the throttle, but this can happen quicker than you can recover from it.
We see the 31 of Parker Retzlaff right in front of that 26, so he was also taking a little air off the car.
And when Jeb moves up, he's just hoping there's nobody on the outside. He's got to make that move, but he just doesn't know for sure whether there's a car there or not, and you have to take that risk. And so thankful when you can get through there clean.
That's right where we were standing. You didn't drop anything down there, did you?
Yeah, he was in your lane when he spun out.
Let's go to Kim.
And Kaz Gralla showed a lot of surprise on the radio. He said that was unexpected. He said it stepped out on me and there was nothing I could do about it. They do have a right front tire down, it sounds like. They don't think there's any structural damage to the car, but they will come in to change what might be right front and left front.
It looks like the right front's definitely down. They're getting a little bit of damage to the right front fender there. The 24-year-old out of Boston brings out the first caution here at Michigan. Allgaier out front. NASCAR Fan Rewards is free to join. You can earn points all season by doing what you're doing right now. Watching racing, answering trivia, playing fantasy, buying race tickets, and more. Save your points. You can trade them in for free tickets or autographed merchandise. Just visit NASCAR.com/fanrewards. You're watching the NASCAR Xfinity Series Cabo Wabo 250 from Michigan International Speedway. Out front, Justin Allgaier, he was able to take the top spot away from Josh Berry on the start of the race. Now we'll see how they do on restarts. All right, guys, is there a preferred line? Do you want to be on the outside or inside for the restart?
I don't want to be on the inside. I think going down into turn one on the bottom, you're at a disadvantage, especially coming off turn two. If you don't clear and take the lead, you're getting beat down the back straightaway, losing multiple spots. So I think the person that starts in third, fifth, sixth, they're in really tough shape. So I want to be on the outside, get the right push, get commitment from behind me, and be able to beat the inside car down into turn one. Just race them down in there and take the line away.
Yeah, I'd be trying to make a deal with somebody to go whichever side that I could go with that I know is going to be given a good push. I think the push is more important than the lane choice, actually. I think that's what helped propel Justin Allgaier there to get by Josh Berry at the start of the race.
Kim, how about the 7 and Allgaier?
Yeah, this team knew they were going to be strong, and when I asked what their goal was this weekend, they said one goal they have is to close the gap to points leader Austin Hill. They said we're 40 points out, and they look at the regular season championship as a very realistic goal. They said they've covered more ground than that in a shorter amount of time. Now, how do you make up those points? You get stage points, you win races. That was on the docket for the team. Spotter Eddie DeHaan just got on the radio and said, Justin, clean air is king. This is how we control the race. Be very aggressive on this restart, Marty.
Kim, it's not a very warm day here in Michigan, but Ross Chastain came directly from Cup Series qualifying to get in the Xfinity Series car, and he wanted to wear his cool shirt from his Cup car, but he went to plug it in, and the cool shirt started leaking everywhere. So it was a last-minute scramble to get Ross another shirt and get rid of the cool shirt, put that on. You see the field leaving pit road with him sitting there. They finally got the window net buttoned up, so not much of a major distraction for Ross Chastain, but the cool suit leaking earlier, so running this race without one here this afternoon. But short race, shouldn't be that bad for him.
It is a short race, and but these Xfinity cars are hot. I mean, they're actually very hot. It's interesting. It feels like Colleague has had a lot of issues with those cool shirts. We saw it with Chandler Smith from New Hampshire. He had an issue, and then there's been others in the recent past. Makes you wonder what's going on there. Maybe there's not enough voltage to run, enough amperage to run them correctly. I'm not sure, but I know if you're going to have one, you want it to work, because when it's not working, it's actually a lot hotter than if you didn't have it.
Yeah, and I would think that maybe Ross is more concerned about it possibly dehydrating him a little bit more today that would affect him more tomorrow than what actually trying to get through this race. So it's all about the preparation for the whole weekend. But yes, you don't want those issues to start with.
And again, the temperature here, 80 degrees. So we are right along with the Goodyear on board of Allgaier. Ross Chastain talked about the temp and that cool shirt maybe not working the way it was supposed to. So Allgaier is on the outside. He chose the outside line. Josh Berry on the inside. We'll see who gives the best push as Sam Mayer is behind Allgaier and the green flag's back out. Making it 3 wide there as Carson Hocevar was trying to get to the inside of the 19. Not enough room, and he falls back a spot.
And so watch the 8 here. He didn't clear. Going to lose a little bit of momentum here. He's going to need help from his teammate. Down the back straightaway, he's going to get it from Sam Mayer.
No help on the inside for Austin Hill, and he falls back to 4th. John Hunter Nemechek in the 20 wasn't going to give the 21.
Sam Mayer way up the track.
Slid all the way up almost to the wall.
Chandler Smith had his front bumper right underneath the rear bumper, and it just pulled the air off that race car, and up the racetrack he went. Battle for 3rd.
So right there, the 16 almost gets into the back of him, but then Sam, I think, is just loose and not able to commit to the corner. Big crash off of turn 2, big hit. The 77, Sammy Smith.
Yeah, 77 of Hocevar and the 18 of Sammy Smith are involved. There's another car that was off on the right side.
Looked like the 20 of Nemechek.
That's what I thought as well. One car got, big hit right there down the back.
That's Sammy Smith in the 18. He begins to roll. Maggio is the other car that was involved.
Nemechek's rolling. Nemechek's rolling on the apron around turn 3 and 4. I'm imagining with some flat spotted, if not flat tires. Here's the 77 of Carson Hocevar coming down pit road. So there's the 20.
Big disappointment for Carson Hocevar. Had a good car in practice. Never raced here before in any series. Trucks, ARCA, nothing. This was his first opportunity, and out super early. Not going to have a chance to learn a lot.
Saw Ty Gibbs there getting some work done. Let's take another look at what happens.
19's loose, sideways in front of his teammates. And they're off the gas, like save it, trying to help him. But they're all packing up behind each other with nowhere to go.
That's a car owner's worst nightmare right there.
Yeah, got 3 of them, all of them right there. Yeah. And it looked like there was actually a little contact possibly there as Ty Gibbs was trying to keep going and they were trying to stay off of
it. There you see the 77 coming by, jumping the left front of Sammy Smith. So the 20 here just spins harmlessly down to the inside. There's a big contact. That's going to bend the rear end housing in that 77. Won't be surprised to see that car go behind the wall.
Crazy 4 races for John Hunter Nemechek. Win in Atlanta, win in New Hampshire, 32nd, 34th, the 2 races after that. I don't know he's got damage here.
Some light contact with the rear bumper of the 19 to the fence, but that doesn't look too bad either, Jeff.
And it didn't look like a lot of contact there for Nemechek. Let's listen into his radio.
I hit from behind. Yep, I know. What's up? Hi, I'm sorry. I guess it was just a bad aero spot. I don't know. Okay.
DJ, you and I did the race. You see the right rears come off of Carson Hocefer, so this bad day's gone worse. You and I did the race, the road course race from Road America, and John Hunter Nemechek after the race was very frustrated with teammates. He said, teammates are hurting me. Here's 3 of them making contact, and I don't know how he's going to feel about that, but already some sensitivities to how his teammates racing.
Yeah, and when things aren't going well, it just seems that it's kind of the same people that you're around. And, of course, they are teammates, and all of these cars run good. But the problem with that is have one little incident, and then you find yourself in another mess. John Hunter might be the most fortunate one of the 3 here that he doesn't sustain any more damage, just has to put on some tires and come from the back.
Yeah, I don't think anybody did anything wrong there. And to your point, DJ, if you're all going to run great, you're all going to find yourselves around each other and in these situations. Now, you can see some frustrations between the 2.
Yeah, Ty, but these 2 have had run-ins.
Yeah,
these 2,
yes.
Yeah, Ty Gibbs is not happy with John Hunter. Here it is. They've come off pit road. Here comes Ty Gibbs, and he's letting him know he is not happy. We saw his hand out the window.
When you're pedaling the gas like that, we heard the in-car and could hear him pedaling. He was struggling, and I think the contact came after Ty was already in trouble. Marty?
And John Hunter came on the radio, said, I don't know what he is mad at. So clearly, John Hunter feels like he got contact from behind from the other teammate in this mix at Joe Gibbs Racing, Sammy Smith, and now he does not understand why Ty Gibbs is upset with him.
And Marty, Ty very upset on the radio with John Hunter using some choice words to describe his teammate. Maybe that's misguided. We'll have to wait and find out. But Sammy Smith came on the radio and said, I tried to check up. I did everything I can. So it seems as though both Ty and Sammy may be placing a little of that blame on teammate John Hunter.
Ty Gibbs has to have a little bit longer memory, because if memory serves me correct, he actually had an issue with Brandon Jones, who was his teammate a year ago before they went to Phoenix in the championship there. So teammates maybe bumping into teammates, that's not something that's foreign to the sport. But right now, it was Joe Gibbs Racing all involved in this one, and they collected Carson Hocevar as well. NBC Sports coverage of NASCAR is brought to you by Credit One Bank, a credit card company, and by the new movie Gran Turismo, based on a true story, only in theaters August 25th. People having some fun here in the Irish Hills of Michigan at the one of many lakes around the area. So we mentioned teammates, maybe bumping teammates on the racetrack. We just saw how Ty Gibbs seemed like he was a little frustrated with John Hunter Nemechek. Well, let's go back to Richmond. A year ago, Ty Gibbs is in the 54. John Hunter Nemechek is in the 18.
Yeah, this is just good hard racing here. Moved him up the racetrack, gets on the inside of him, but things turn for the worse down here in turn 3 and 4.
Ty Gibbs drives in there and says, you know what? My win just does not turn his race car and run his teammate up the racetrack. John Hunter expresses frustration after this race and even during this race.
Yeah, well, these things are going to happen, you know. Again, you have talented drivers, good cars, you're going to find yourself wanting the same real estate sometimes. And you know, the biggest difference there was about 80 miles per hour in the speed as to what happened here today.
Both of these drivers now, because they've had to come in and put on a set of tires, they're now down a set, although we don't know that there's a lot of speed difference between new tires and old tires, but both of those drivers now down one set.
You see Allgaier and Barry both going to the high line. Hill chooses the low line. And check in with the Peacock pit box. All right, guys, are we seeing teammates maybe roughing each other up a little early in this race?
Well, that's the key. I heard DJ say, you know, there was a big difference in speed, but also a big difference in timing of the race. Lap 11, you're a car owner. It looked like your head was going to explode.
Yeah, I'd be a little bit aggravated with my driver for being that aggressive and running over top of each other at lap 11. But, you know, like I mentioned in the pre-race show, there's a lot of inexperience in this field, and we don't run these 2-mile racetracks in hardly anymore. So these guys are getting used to running at 170, 80, 90 miles an hour around one another. And like DJ was talking about in the pre-race show, the air comes off these cars so uniquely, there's going to be trouble all day long.
I agree. It wasn't egregious moves. It was just not a good spot to be in at lap 11. Leave each other some space. But you mentioned inexperience. Let's remind the fans. We have Sammy Smith at 19 years old, Ty Gibbs at 20 years old, and John Hunter Nemechek, the old man of the group, at 26.
Old,
so a lot of youth behind the wheel for Joe Gibbs Racing, and youth at this time definitely showed some inexperience.
See a little tape there on the back bumper of the 19 as Ty Gibbs comes back out on track.
One of the things that's unique to Ty running this race is he hasn't ran a lot of the 1.5 mile or larger tracks with the new rules, so that he's missing a lot of skew and lateral grip, side force that he's used to having last year, and so I think that's going to be a bit of a surprise for him today, as it already has been.
2 cautions already, as only 15 laps complete, 30 laps in the first stage, another 30 laps in stage 2, in the final stage of 65 laps. As we get back underway, we'll see if Austin Hill can do anything on the inside. Good push from A.J. Allmendinger on Riley Herbst.
Yes, Ross Chastain in that 10 car.
How about Sam Mayer in the 1? A great run up through the middle.
Yeah, I think Sam's a little embarrassed by getting up the racetrack and losing some spots, trying to work it back, being aggressive on restarts. That outside line so far doing a lot of great work here.
Allmendinger in the 10, that red, white, and blue, number 10, went to the inside. Excuse me, Chastain in the 10.
Sam Mayer real tight on the 21 there. It's taking a big risk. Trusting that driver on the inside not to lose the rear grip when you get down there that close. You take away so much side force in the corner.
And look at how far Hill has fallen back. After starting on that front row, the 21, now all the way back to 8.
Yeah, that's just what Junior was talking about before the past restart, was how much you can lose in making that choice to go to the inside. And these drivers are seeming, you know, I talked about the draft earlier, but this is not Daytona and Talladega. I'm seeing a lot of pushing this early on, and like they're at Daytona and Talladega, and that draft is not going, and that push is not going to affect you, but it is going to a lot more here.
What does Sam Mayer do here? Side by side down the front straightaway. He's not going to be able to make the pass. Going to be in a tough spot on the inside to turn 1.
Yeah, so what he's trying to do, he's trying to get away from that 16 car when he enters the corner. that is indeed helping him from an aerodynamic standpoint, but it's hurting him from an angle of attack standpoint. He enters so low that he can't carry the speed that he needs to through the corner, and now the 21 of Hill taking advantage of it.
All those spots that he gained on the restart now, losing those spots. 3 wide in the middle. Not going to be comfortable there as you see him getting passed by both cars.
And a caution coming out once again.
Have to imagine must be some debris somewhere on the racetrack. Oh, the 08 car who was in the wreck earlier.
Yeah, Mason
has
Maggio.
some sort of an issue, a right front tire failure or whatever. He's got some contact hard with the right side of that race car.
So the 19-year-old out of Palm Beach Garden, Florida, Mason Maggio, will be attended to by the AMR safety crew.
When the net comes down. These are hard hits, big racetrack, running really, really fast here. Any kind of tire issue or anything that gets you up into the fence is not going to be comfortable. So here's a replay. He's just got a right front tire down. And even he's off pace, well behind the, well behind the field, and that wasn't full speed into turn 1, and that's the kind of hit that you have with no right front tire on the car. So luckily, he's gotten out of the car, and AMR guys are going to take care of him, get him back to the infield care center, get checked out.
Yeah, which there's another driver that was already there, Sammy Smith, and Kim was with him.
Yeah, he's been checked and released. He got tangled up with his teammates out of the race. Sammy, what happened, and was there somebody at fault there?
Yeah, I don't know. It looked like John Hunter got Ty loose, and when John Hunter went left, I was right there, and Ty was aimed right at me, so I needed to go left, and I guess when I went left, the 77 was there. So I don't know. It's a tough deal. It's frustrating for sure. Everyone at Pilot Flying J, TMC, All-State Peterbilt Group, Toyota, JGR. I thought we had a fast car today. Just been a tough couple weeks.
Is there frustration with teammates, or is everything okay?
I mean, it looked like John Hunter was maybe being a little aggressive there on Ty. I'm not going to point fingers. I don't really have the right to do that, but it's just part of it, I guess.
That is Sammy Smith.
Maybe a little aggressive early between the drivers. So Sammy Smith checked and released from the infield care center. You see John Hunter Nemechek back on pit road. Marty.
Rick, remember Jeff said a moment ago that John Hunter Nemechek, because of that spin, is down a set of tires to the rest of the field like everybody else who was in that spin. So they just topped off here, and with the fuel mileage teams are getting, this should be able to get them to the end of stage 2. So expect them to stay out at the stage break coming up in 10 laps.
So early on, 20 laps into this race, and already 3 cautions.
Yeah. That's really a good play. I mean, they've got to earn back a set of tires. And so they're going to try to stay out there and not take that set when the rest of the field comes down pit road. They'll be behind on tires just a little bit in this next stage, but I think they got a competitive enough car to survive that.
It'll be less than 10 laps remaining in stage 1 as you see the 08 of Mason Maggio being pulled back into the garage after that hard hit in turns 1 and 2. NFL season kicks off September 7th when the Detroit Lions visit the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. It's the NFL season opener only on NBC and Peacock. As we look down on Ford Field, the home of the Detroit Lions. Again, that opening game will be at Kauffman Stadium for the Kansas City Chiefs. But we're just down the road from Detroit as this Michigan International Speedway sits out here, 2-mile racetrack. You're watching the NASCAR Xfinity Series Cabo Wabo 250. And once again, 2x2. Allgaier and Berry look to be working together again. Cole Custer running up there in the front row. Marty.
Rick, we've really seen Austin Hill scrapping on these restarts especially, but is there a handling issue on the 21? Listen in.
I seem to be able to throttle up and make up some time on exit right now, so I definitely think we're a lot better on entry security. I'll just have to let you know where it goes with the front end. I'm just not sure what this chatter is all about because I didn't have that in practice or anything.
What he's talking about, Jeff, is chattering the fronts really bad, especially early in the run. Kind of caught him off guard. So what does that mean when you're chattering the front tires in the middle of the corner?
Well, what the driver feels is the tires actually shaking, they actually vibrate, and the car actually bounces up and down. And when it's doing that, the car is never going to turn. So there's never been a car that's chattering the front tires that's turning the way it wants to turn. The car is too tight. If you chatter the rear tires, the car is way too loose. So that puts him at a deficit trying to advance on these restarts.
And you're probably in practice, he didn't have other cars in front of him. Now he's been kind of mired back here. Is that air affecting that?
Terribly. Everything in dirty air is worse. So if you have any kind of issue, it's going to compound the further back in the field you get.
Back to the restart zone they go. Allgaier again on the outside. Cole Custer on the inside. He's got Austin Hill behind him in the 21. We'll see what kind of push he gets. Looks pretty good as they go into turn number 1 now. Can that 00 clear the 7? No, the 7 of Allgaier flies by on the outside.
00 really loose right here. Cole Custer up the racetrack, finally to the outside groove.
Custer started 13th, and DJ, he did a great job of getting himself back in that position. Now getting a major push from Chandler Smith.
Yeah, maybe more push than he actually wanted down into turn 3 right there. And you can see these drivers, we've had 3 cautions in the first 20 laps. That's never happened here at Michigan, but they don't seem to be affected by this with the moves that we see them making on these restarts. We know that's when they know they can make time, but you have to be smart too and realize there's a lot of racing to go.
Pretty aggressive on the restarts as we see Austin Hill has been shuffled back there to the outside of Sam Mayer.
Sam again restarting on the inside, just struggling to make that bottom work. Try to find his way in line, but cannot do it. Ryan Sieg to the outside now in the 39 car.
And he's just the opposite. He started 4th, and he's going the wrong way. But there's a hole right here. He needs to just give this spot up, get himself back in this hole. He decides not to do it. Can he clear that 10 car?
A little bit of side drafting there by Mayer. We'll see if it works out for him. But here comes Ryan Sieg to his outside and Jeff Burton.
Jeff, to your point, right there, you saw him in a position where he could have fell in behind the 10. He decided not to do it. It's a net wash on gaining the position and losing one to Sieg.
It could have been a net gain, and you know, when the 39 got by him, he just would have been better off down the straightaway just to get in front and say, hey, I got this one spot. Now let's go fight for the next one. One pass at a time.
Yeah, you could realize who's in that car, and that's Ross Chastain in that 10 car. He's got speed. You can push him, and then you're back up to where you can catch these first 5 or 6 cars that are in front of you, and you don't have that deficit, and you've got another spot.
Anthony Alfredo in the 78 makes an aggressive move to the inside of Ross Chastain, trying to take that spot away. Slides at the racetrack in front of him.
You see how these cars slide around. I mean, nobody's comfortable with their cars. A lot of movement with the back. Brandon Jones now tries to drive in the corner. Try to beat 21 on speed on entry. He does it. He's able to slide up in front of it.
Yeah, so what I'm starting to see is some drivers, and Ross Chastain was the first one, and you saw it right there with Austin Hill, that they're having problem getting into the corner fast enough. They're having to come out of the throttle, and these guys that maybe have a little tighter car are taking advantage of that, staying in the throttle and making the pass.
Pretty impressed with Brandon so far in this race, starting 14th. And that 9 car all the way up to 6th now. This battle back here continues, and there's the 4th, 5th, and 6th place cars. 7th place Austin Hill as well. They're getting runs on each other, but it's, again, a decision of, is this run big enough to be able to try to make the pass, or is it going to cost me positions from behind? It's a tough call to make just about every single lap around this racetrack, Marty.
Yeah, Dale Jr., as you look at the tight racing further back in the field, Parker Kligerman trying to get another spot. I, too, impressed with Brandon Jones up to the 6th position. And when I talked to him early this morning, he really targeted this race, Kansas and Darlington, all in the regular season for the Xfinity Series to get a win. And he made no bones about it to me. We're going to need a win to be able to get in the playoffs, trying to get into the top 5. Nice run for Brandon Jones so far.
Brandon Jones coming into this race 14th as we're just under 2 laps to go in stage 1.
So this is what we talked about. He got that run, turned to go underneath him, and he's not going to clear him. And so now look what happens. They all see it. They all pile up on the outside of him. And now you've lost forward momentum. And now they're just slinging around you. Unless they make a mistake, it's almost impossible for you to keep this spot.
Final lap of stage 1, and it's been chaotic. As we see Chandler Smith in the 16 just in front of Riley Herbst in the 98. But Allgaier with a 3-second lead over Josh Berry is going to claim the stage win, and that will be 5 stages. The last 5 stages have all been won by Junior Motorsports drivers. Josh Berry 2nd, Cole Custer 3rd in that stage. Chandler Smith, Riley Herbst the top 5. Brandon Jones, Austin Hill, Ryan Sieg, Sam Mayer, and Anthony Alfredo rounding out the top 10. Great flyover to kick things off here, and then 3 cautions in stage 1 to get us underway. But it was Allgaier winning the stage. NBC Sports coverage of NASCAR is brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. And by Cabo Wabo Tequila, bringing bold taste to Michigan International Speedway. Drink responsibly. Such a beautiful area here around Brooklyn, Michigan, and Michigan International Raceway. There's Jerry's Pub and Restaurant located on Wampler's Lake.
It's a great place.
It is a wonderful place. 780 acres of Wampler's Lake. The deepest part of that lake, 39 feet.
Had a little lunch at Jerry's on Thursday. Very good.
They were very generous, welcoming as we came in with our crew. And we see now all lined up, getting ready to come to pit road after stage one is complete. Allgaier with Barry right behind him. Again, thanks to Goodyear for this onboard shots of Justin Allgaier as they come onto pit road. They come in front of Kim.
You see Justin Allgaier, top of your screen. He said good in 1 and 2, just a little bit tight in 3 and 4. Overall, the balance good, but he said clean air is absolutely saving me here. They do take an air pressure adjustment on those 4 fresh Goodyear tires. Sunoco fuel going in. Josh Berry saying a 6 out of 10 tight on that machine. Also has a slight vibration as they finish up service, Marty.
13 to 3rd for Cole Custer, who said we're in the mix. Let's keep ourselves in the game here. He said that setup was really good through traffic, but it's really a little bit too tight when I get out front in clean air. You see other cars flash by. Custer leaves his stall, losing a couple of spots here on pit road.
And some tire strategy taking place as we saw Sheldon Creed gain 16 spots. Josh Williams may have missed his pit stall, and that's why he gained 21. We saw Burton was turned around the wrong direction.
Not sure exactly how that happened. Don't see a lot of contact or damage to the car, but he may have actually almost passed his stall, missed his stall, and locked the rear brakes up, spinning out, trying to get there.
Was running 14th. Fortunately, it's always nervous for me. You see a car backwards on pit road with all those crew members down there. Fortunately, no contact with anyone.
See the damn sign.
There you go.
Couldn't see the signs.
Couldn't
Yes,
see the
almost
sign.
drove past the pit stall, slammed on the brakes, rear tire start hopping, spun him out.
Well, pit stall number 42 is occupied with the Peacock pit box, and down there, let's talk continuity, guys. What do you think about the way that stage one went? Didn't seem like there was any continuity.
Continuity doesn't exist here at Michigan yet in the Xfinity Series race. So, Brad, you know, I don't know how it was in basketball, but I'll tell you as a crew chief, some races you settle right in, you get a nice run, you understand what your car needs, you make good adjustments. In a race where we're only going to see 3 pit stops, I think having that broken up stage one makes making your car better very difficult.
Yeah, I think it does. It really does. And also, you know, we have the cautions early, which we just didn't anticipate. So because guys were trying to fill themselves out and try to figure out how to get around this racetrack. So now that plays into, now the clock is ticking. This is a short race by our race standards. And you're exactly right. The pressure starts to build. And like Rick's talking about, the continuity, it's just not there. But I think this next stage we'll see guys settle down just a little bit and start seeing some better, longer runs.
So you mentioned short race. I've heard it 3 or 4 times already today. Is that what we're seeing early? Do the drivers feel like this race is shorter than maybe it really
100%.
is?
They absolutely, everybody talks about that when we come here. So the drivers do. They think it's a little shorter than possibly it is. So there's no give and take, none whatsoever. Everybody's trying to take every inch of the racetrack, and they don't get settled in. I think we'll sit in this second stage, though.
Yeah, and I think the challenge, guys, for someone like the 19 of Ty Gibbs or the 20 of John Hunter Nemechek is that set of tires that's missing is going to not only put them a little bit behind on strategy, but it's just going to take that one adjustment away. So I think they'll recover and be fine. I do. But are they going to be good enough to outrun Josh Berry or Justin Allgaier, or one of these cars that continue to work on their car each and every pit stop? It's going to be interesting. And this restart with old tires up front, while they're not very old, 20-lap tires are going to have less grip, Ken. It's going to be interesting to see how this restart goes.
And Steve, talking tires, Sheldon Creed only took 2 tires, and that was strictly a strategy call by Jeff Stankiewicz. When I talked with him this morning, he said, we have to start being aggressive in our calls. We have to start doing things differently. We are at the cusp of losing our spot in the playoff picture. So, again, a very aggressive strategy call for Sheldon Creed. We'll see how he fares with 2 tires. They gained 16 positions with that call on pit road, Marty.
Kim, as predicted, John Hunter Nemechek decided to stay out. The men's second in the regular season championship standings. Just check checked in with Ben Bayshore, his crew chief. He said, I think grip-wise, we should be fine, I hope, with those 20-lap older tires. The interesting thing, though, how will the teammates race each other? So John Hunter chooses outside. He'll push his teammate Ty Gibbs into turn 1 on this restart. We'll see if the Gibbs cars can keep it up front and get back on the same strategy with everybody else in the field.
Marty, I want to remind everyone about the stage points that the top 10 drivers earn at the end of each stage. And so stage 1 points allocated. Allgaier got 10 for winning the stage, all the way down to Anthony Alfredo getting 1 point for finishing in the 10th position.
All right, so you heard Steve Letarte mention old tires in the front. So let's kind of reset the field. We know the 19, the 20, the 26, Scralla, Nemechek, Gibbs, they all got in that incident. They spun, they put tires on, they have stayed out. Now they're essentially that whole outside row, the top 3 rows, that's them. Then below them, Sheldon Creed, you just heard Kim say he put on only 2 tires. Then the 98, the 00, everybody else has 4 tires. That 92 of Josh Williams, he did no tires. So a ton of different tire strategies at the front. Marty.
And Jeff, add to that mix a missing person from the front. Ross Chastain had a hole in the nose in the 10 car for Kaulig Racing. They came down pit road just now. He is catching up to the back of the field. They feel like they got that hole patched correctly. So Ross Chastain will be in the very back for this restart, restarting 35th. He should be fun to watch.
Catches up to the pack with speed as they come into the restart zone. And again, it was drivers that stayed out. Ty Gibbs, Sheldon Creed, making up row 1 as they dive into turn 1. Four cautions in stage 1, and to compare that to a year ago, there was 4 cautions in the whole race. Gibbs is going to slot in front of Sheldon Creed. He dives in just behind him, and then John Hunter Nemechek running in that 3rd spot. Two, 3, and 4 wide back here.
Contact with the 9 of Brandon Jones and Josh Williams. Josh Williams kind of going back through the field here on the older tires.
You see that 92 of Josh Williams falling back quickly. Oh, big wiggle there out of Parker.
Parker gets a little bit loose there. Everybody cutting him a break.
Kligerman in that orange and white 48s up against the wall. Multiple lines of racing here at Michigan. We see them all over the racetrack. Watch that 48 move up the racetrack right there.
He got pretty loose right there.
Yeah, that doesn't look nearly as big on TV as what it does when you're sitting inside the cars, and how much the back end steps out in a situation like that. That's really nice.
Early caution.
Down in turn 1 and 2, we got some cars in trouble.
Connor Mozak in the 24, a lot of damage to the right side. That one more than likely got up into the wall.
Doesn't look like he's actually had any contact with the wall.
Maybe just
with
the tire blown out.
Yeah, I think he's had some contact with some other race cars. Not quite sure. I think he cleared himself across the nose of somebody getting down into turn 1 and turned himself into the fence nose first. So somebody's riding around here with a little damage, probably to the left front of their car. To take a look. Back in the back here, he's getting turned out right there off of, can't tell who that is, but might have been Kyle Sieg, I'm not sure, but anyways, clearing yourself into turn 1 down the front straightaway. At that high rate of speed is going to create tons of problems for you and everybody else around.
Connor Mozak with an extensive amount of damage to the left front, or right front, and right rear. And a good possibility that Kyle Sieg in that 28 may have some damage as well.
It was either Kyle or maybe Graf in the 38. I have to take a look. But there's definitely going to be a little damage to the left front of the car that was on the right side of the 24 here.
And so the start of this race, from the very beginning, it has been run a few laps, green, and then caution comes out with spins. No consistency yet. Great history here at Michigan International Raceway, though. Open wheel racing, stock car racing. History of racing in Michigan very deep, just outside of the backyard of the manufacturers. Tomorrow on NBC and Peacock, NTT IndyCar Series racing on the streets of Nashville. That coverage begins at noon Eastern. Alex Palou enters the weekend 80 points ahead of Indy 500 champ Joseph Newgarden. Just 5 races remaining in the season. Take a look at our Toyota driver updates as Gibbs running up front. John Hunter Nemechek second. And yes, that was how they were running when the issue happened earlier in the race. Kaz Grala, Mozak, and Sammy Smith, see the positions they were in. So this is what brought out the most recent caution with Connor Mozak. Joe Graf Jr. is the 38 behind him.
It's hard to tell what started that. See the damage on the 38.
Field 2x2 as you see Connor Mozak climbing out of the 24. Riley Herbst is on the inside, and Ty Gibbs on that outside line with John Hunter Nemechek behind him. Cole Custer is behind Herbst as they go back up through the gears. Pretty good shove from John Hunter Nemechek to the 19 of Gibbs, and both of them will clear Riley Herbst.
Big loose moment for the 8 car, Josh Berry. So he tries to gather it all back up.
Brandon Jones in the 9 taking advantage of them slowing down on the track. Now a side-by-side battle there for second as Herbst will slide up behind John Hunter Nemechek.
So remember, Riley Herbst has 4 tires. Cole Custer has 4 tires. These 2 guys in front, much older tires. Let's see if there's any difference. Now, I will say this, there were a lot of caution laps on these tires, so it may not be a big difference.
Junior Motorsports drivers riding nose to tail here with Allgaier and Mayer.
Gibbs trying to break the draft down the back straightaway.
Yeah, really interested here to see Justin Allgaier, who dominated that stage one. He had a 3-second lead at the end of that. How can he maneuver around this traffic? What kind of moves is he able to make? Can he utilize the inside and make some passes?
Just ride along with him, DJ. See what he's trying to do. These passes are difficult. We've talked about it. You know, you want to get on the, you actually want to get on the outside of somebody, Kim, but they're not going to give you that spot that easily.
And a much harder position, Justin, being in the 5th place versus out front. He talked about early in the race how good clean air was for that race car. And we've seen how aggressive drivers have gotten just in the 44 laps we've completed. Well, they might bring it up a notch even more. Take a listen to the radio of Allgaier.
And a little drama to your situation. We got some weather coming in. You might be racing to the stage end. I'll let you know. We're working on time.
So all those drivers, including Justin Allgaier, being made aware of that radar and the fact that we could be racing to the end of stage 2. So drivers might be taking it up a notch.
Weather forecast for the area didn't show any precipitation for Saturday. They had hinted that the possibility existed on Sunday, but this cell looks like it popped up a couple hours ago, and next thing you know, it's coming into potentially the strategy of how these guys are going to run this race.
It looked like they told some of those drivers that in stage 1 the way that they were going about things.
We see Brett Moffitt in the 25 to the inside of Parker Kligerman.
Parker's been in the middle of something this whole race. This car, he's a really, really solid race car driver. Just like his car just doesn't have quite enough speed, and he has to work so hard to gain anything around this racetrack.
You see where Kligerman right now 25 points behind Creed as they run on the track. There's Sheldon Creed about to get passed by the 9 of Brandon Jones.
Sheldon put on 2 tires. That's not been an advantage.
Yeah, you'd have to imagine that make that car a little bit tighter. If you're lacking a little front grip, Jeff, putting on 2 tires to cycle the car even tighter, make it tougher to get the car turned in the middle of the corner.
See him spreading out a little bit now as they chase after the 19 of Ty Gibbs. John Hunter Nemechek running in that 2nd spot. Ty Gibbs, the only driver in the field with a win here. There's been 12 different winners here at Michigan the last 12 races. Marty.
Rick, did you notice the grill of the 20 car of John Hunter Nemechek? A little white piece of paper right there on the grill. Dale Jr., why does it always seem like at Michigan, other places like Fontana, these 2-mile racetracks, debris is always a problem? And how frustrating must that be for John Hunter Nemechek? He needs to get off. They finally have themselves in a position to play the game with everybody else today, and now he's got this debris, and the temperatures are shooting up.
Yeah, that's a pretty small piece. I'm not sure. I'd like to know exactly where his temperatures are. I don't know if he'll have a problem with that or not, but if the temperatures do get up to where he's bothered by it, I think that he's going to have a hard time catching up with the lead car to be able to get close enough to change the pressure, the air pressure on the nose to get that piece to go away.
Junior, sometimes you guys like if a piece of paper gets on the front of your car, maybe gives you a little added downforce.
It's absolutely going to add downforce to the car, going to make you a lot faster, going to make the car go through the middle of the corner quicker. It's going to turn better. But if he sees the temperatures go up, he needs to get closer and closer and closer, much closer than this, to the 19. You see it move that paper around? Now it looks like it's even in a worse spot.
When if they were really concerned about it, DJ, they would just tell Gibbs in that 19 car, hey, back up a little bit down the straightaway, let him get right to that rear bumper, and that will allow that piece of paper to come off of it because it changes the pressure behind the car.
I don't know if they're friendly enough to want to do each other any favors. I agree with you 100%.
Well, they do have a boss.
We look back from the Toyota onboard, and it doesn't look like Gibbs is going to back off at all to help out John Hunter Nemechek with that little piece of paper that's on the front that goes in to cool the engine. Gibbs out front here at Michigan. 10 to go. New leader in Michigan as we see the 20 of John Hunter Nemechek make the pass on the high side. He went around the 19 of Ty Gibbs, and now Riley Herbst is under fire from the 7 of Justin Allgaier, who went to the bottom of the racetrack.
Justin won't be able to clear, though, so down this straightaway, Justin's probably going to have to fall back in line behind the 98. Got a lot of cars coming from behind. Sam Mayer leading that little train. Sam's going to dive to the inside. Got to go down there and commit. Almost a slide job move to be able to take the spot away.
Oh, he's sliding all right. Mayer catches it.
Yeah, he just gets loose down there, costs all this momentum, losing all these spots here now.
That was a huge slide right there. Great save.
I think that's that confidence that he talked about coming here, feeling like he's 15 pounds lighter now, having that first win. He can go out there and take these chances. He was taking a lot of chances before that first win, but he's going for it. Cost him a few spots. He'll have to work to get them back.
00 got by on the outside, and the 21 got by on the inside. So Sam Mayer will have to fight his way back, but only 4 laps to go in stage 2.
And broke up the lead pack just a little bit as you see the 19 in second. Herbst in the 98 in third as we're looking back at him now on the Toyota camera.
Riley Herbst finished 5th in that first stage, got 6 points. The guy he's racing, or one of the guys he's racing, as he goes to the bottom, can't quite get there. Parker Kligerman got no points.
Big
Once
run.
again, the 98 sitting there in position, but here comes Allgaier trying to take it.
Big run by Allgaier. He goes all the way down to the apron, and that is fair game here at Michigan.
Herbst slows him down with the side draft. Allgaier's going to commit down. He can come up the racetrack, though, in front of him. Sends him up into the top groove. Herbst still up there in the grip.
Almost slid in front of Riley Herbst, but now that momentum not on the side of Allgaier as he falls back. And here comes Austin Hill in the 21. Cole Custer as well. Now Allgaier uses that lower line to get in front of Austin Hill just barely. We'll see if Austin Hill gets to his back bumper.
He's going to have a huge run down this straightaway.
Pretty aggressive move by Allgaier right there.
Yeah, it really was. A lot of experience in making that move and trusting his abilities to do that, but got himself in a position to where he didn't lose any points there. Spots, which translates into points here in just a couple of laps.
Under 2 laps to go. Nemechek out front by 1.4 seconds. Gibbs right here in front of this line.
Yeah, Ty is holding this group up. He's just not as fast. And Herbst wants to try to find a way around. Here comes Allgaier. He's tired of waiting. He's going to drive all the way to the inside and actually clear the 19 car.
What a move.
Takes 2, and Allgaier with 1 lap to go in stage 2 moves all the way up to second.
See Riley, he's afraid to make that move. He's afraid it's not going to work out. He wants to get on the outside.
Remember, a little older tires on the 19 of Ty Gibbs.
Oh, Riley.
They get checked up here, Jeff, off the corner. The 21's got a big run here. It's going to go to the inside, the 98 down the back straightaway. Side draft here, have a lot of momentum into turn 3. And again, on the bottom of the racetrack, can he clear the 98?
Hill goes down there, and will he slide up in front of him?
He's going to be beside the 19 off the corner.
The win, though, in stage 2 goes to John Hunter Nemechek. Allgaier in second. Side by side for positions. Ty Gibbs, Riley Herbst, Austin Hill coming across the line. There's Cole Custer, Josh Berry, Sam Mayer, Brandon Jones, and Brett Moffitt all earning some points in stage 2. So the caution has come out once again, the 6th caution of the day. This stage a little cleaner as it was of racing as Nemechek gets the win in stage 2. get more into the races with NASCAR Fantasy Live. To compete, all you have to do is create an entry by picking 5 drivers and then add a garage driver. You can keep tabs on your lineup, and you can even make in-race adjustments to maximize your score before the end of Stage 2. Visit NASCAR.com/fantasy to play. You're watching the NASCAR Xfinity Series Cabo Wabo 250. Good crowd here on hand in Brooklyn, Michigan. And we were listening into Allgaier's radio. Here was communication on that rain we've talked about.
The thing it does is it dissipates as it gets here, so it's hard to tell right now.
Is it coming from the west and trying to go around for that lake? I mean,
Yeah, directly from the west.
yeah, copy. They tend to break up over the lake, so unless it's coming like northeast, we're probably okay.
So we've got the stamp of approval from the 7 team that will be okay for this one. Now the field making their way back onto pit road, and it looks like tires are not going to be an issue as far as everybody back on an equal field. Kim?
Oh, and you see Justin Allgaier getting a tap from another car spinning onto pit road. That is absolutely going to be devastating for that team. Justin had said it was way too free. They were looking to make an adjustment. This is going to totally change the complexion of their pit stop in their race. And you see Ty Gibbs in the middle there. He said it was tight through the center and all the way off the corner as Justin finally gets in his box and the crew can start service, Marty.
An impressive 360 there for Justin Allgaier. I think if you had told John Hunter Nemechek and Ben Bayshore they would win Stage 2 after they spun on lap 11, they would have taken that. He said the car is pretty good, just need a little bit more turn late in the run, and they hold serve here on pit road. John Hunter Nemechek, Joe Gibbs out front after coming in with a lead as well, Rick.
Yeah, you see the race off of pit road. Nemechek holding on to that top spot, and a couple guys gaining positions, but the biggest loser in this one has to be the 7 of Allgaier. Take a look, the 19 of Ty Gibbs. Does he catch him? Sure enough. Tags the back of the 7. It slides him around, and the longest pit stop of the day by Allgaier. Next Saturday on USA, the Xfinity Series. Back to road course racing. This one at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. That coverage beginning at 5 p.m. Eastern. A big part of the big doubleheader at the Brickyard with IndyCar there as well. So the 7 of Allgaier comes in second. Take a look at the gap between the 20 and the 7, and then also the gap between the 19.
Yeah, the 7 starts to turn down to get into his pits, and Ty just doesn't recognize he's going to start slowing down and gets into the back of him. Here you go. See, he's starting to turn.
But look at the gap between the 20 and the 7. I mean, the 7 has an early stall, and I don't know that Ty knows where the 7 stall is, right? He probably has no clue. He only knows where his stall is, and he just runs through the 7. You know, like right there. Like he can move right. He could cut the 7 a break. He doesn't do that. Doesn't have to do that.
Well, you wonder too, Junior, if he's just looking down at his tack,
yep.
right? So there is the only way you know how fast you're going is to maximize your speed on pit road is to be looking at your tack. So if you're looking down, looking up, looking down, looking up, and the guy in front of you slows down unexpectedly, boom, there you are into the back of him. Let's listen to Justin.
Yeah, we'll chalk it up to his teammates leading the race right now, and he needed to free some points because he knows we're gaining on him, so that's all right. We'll remember it. It's all good. We'll make it when I blow his doors off here in a few laps. It'll make it that much sweeter.
All right. Steve, Brad, you guys have a pretty good seat for what's going on when they come onto pit road.
Well, it's a good thing the 7 wasn't pitting any earlier. He ended up in our box off the nose of the 19. Brad, I'm going to take a different approach.
Okay.
I'm ready for somebody to start holding drivers responsible for what happens on pit road from a safety standpoint. I was one of these guys who used to jump over pit road, and I'm not okay with simple contact in a car going backwards like that.
Yeah, no, I agree. It is dangerous. And, you know, it was just a misjudgment, obviously, by Ty Gibbs. But, man, you got to give each other a little bit of a break. I do agree, though. I think he was looking probably at his tack, looking down, and just misjudged it.
I agree. I think it's misjudgment, but I think if there was a bigger penalty or a bigger risk, they would perhaps be a little bit safer.
So there are the points today as far as how everyone finished in the stage. Allgaier getting 19 points, so that's going to help him. But he is also restarting deeper in the field, all the way back in 31st as the green flag comes back out, and stage 3 is underway. Riley Herb shoving the 20 of John Hunter Nemechek up into turn 1. Austin Hill trying to hang on to second. Pretty good run by Josh Berry in the 8 on the outside. Cole Custer falls back in line in 5th, just in front of Brandon Jones. Junior Motorsports were looking good at the end of stage 2. All 4 cars inside the top 10, and then with Allgaier's issue on pit road, that puts him back out of the top 10.
You can see Allgaier in that orange car toward the back middle of this pack. He keeps trying to jump up on the outside. He knows he's faster. See right here, he's way higher than everybody else. This is the goal. Get alongside the 39 to see. Get along the 78. You hope they know you're coming, but they don't. They pull up in front of you. But that's how you get back to the front. Get a little risky, DJ, and keep widening that groove out.
Yeah, you widen the groove. You just have to be careful of realizing who you're racing around here, not guys that you're used to racing around and trying to make too much happen too soon.
Saw Anthony Alfredo in the 78 slide up the racetrack just a bit, so Allgaier decided to go to his inside. Couldn't complete the pass, though.
You got to try to get everything you can on the restarts, and during these laps where everybody's sort of in dirty air, in traffic, going to the bottom is going to be tough to try to keep any momentum going up down this back straightaway.
Yeah, even as fast as his car is, you can't clear anybody. So now he's got Jeb Burton in that 27 car. He's also on the bottom. Justin needs clean air. See a pass right here.
Yeah, I think he has a fast enough car that he can try this for a couple more corners than a lot of other guys who don't have the speed in their cars that Justin Allgaier does with this 7 car.
See the 26 of Kaz Gralla on the inside there. Going a lap down as the leaders all go around on the outside. And Austin Hill running in 2nd place. Hadn't seen a lot of speed, not this kind of speed out of the RCR cars early in the race, but right here in position, putting the pressure on the leader Nemechek. He's right at his back door. So we see the battle of the 9 car, Brandon Jones and Cole Custer down into turn 3. But you see back there on the left side of the screen, there's your leader, and Austin Hill with some momentum down the front straightaway. The 20's going to try to break the draft. Austin don't care. He ran the top. He's already got the momentum down the straightaway. He's going to stay up there.
A lot of momentum on the side of the 21 with Riley Herbst behind him. But John Hunter Nemechek has been running good laps back to back and has been able to keep that gap about 2 or 3 car lengths in between 1st and 2nd.
See this battle here, Ty Gibbs. He looks really loose to me on restarts. Right when they drop the green flag, he takes a little while for this car to get going. Able to get by Custer. Custer struggling in that 00.
The battle continues for Cole Custer, who restarted 4th, about to lose the 8th position. Back there, actually sitting in 8th now as the 1 goes by him, battling it out there. So he said the car just takes way too long to come in for Cole Custer. They're very good at the end of the run, but he gives up so much time on the beginning of the run, and that's what you're seeing right here as that battle continues with the 1 car for that 7th spot.
A lot of laps still to go as Sam Mayer still in front of the 00, Cole Custer. Again, those guys fighting for the 7th and 8th spot. Again, Kaz Grala in the 26 here is a lap down.
This is Allgaier trying to get around the 16 car for 12th. He's up 17 positions. He's making that bottom work. Not a lot of cars have been able to go down there and make speed, but his car's just so good.
And they're spread out.
And he's mad.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, if you're mad, that's another 10th. You can get your driver fired up.
Look at Custer. He drove underneath Gibbs, and he just said, I'm not letting you get on the outside of me. If you're going to pass me, you can try it on the inside. But he just drove in there and went to the right and said, you're not getting on the outside of me. Now Sam Mayer trying to get underneath him.
Yeah, Gibbs is going to clear. Sam's going to side draft the 00, try to take a spot as well. And this is the lap before, same thing. The 1 and the 00 side by side down into 1. Sam's not going to get that position again. Learning a lot of hard lessons.
Yeah, watch Allgaier in that orange car. He's fun to watch. He's going to just drive down here, go all the way to the line, just get the throttle as soon as he can. He knows he's clear. Go ahead and get in behind this 10 car. Don't let the 2 get back on the outside if you can.
And you guys heard the frustration from Justin on the radio after that incident on pit road with Ty Gibbs. What you didn't hear is the team telling him, giving him confidence in his race car. They told him, you have the best car out here. We can drive through this traffic. Eddie DeHaan, the spotter, on the radio just telling him one by one which car he needs to pick up, what these cars in front of him, what lines they're using, but they absolutely think it is still a race they can win with 51 to go here at Michigan.
Well, maybe frustration is a good fuel for Allgaier because he was frustrated, said he was going to be able to drive back up here, and already he's running 9th, and there's only 2 cars between him and Ty Gibbs on the racetrack.
Ty and Cole Custer still battling right here behind Kaz Grala. Kaz Grala is a lap down, but has good speed, and he's sort of got these guys checked up a little bit in dirty air.
All the way down to the yellow line for Allgaier.
He could try that, DJ, because there was no pressure from behind.
Right.
So you can go and work on the bottom. If it doesn't work, no harm, no foul, because nobody is close enough to try to jump on the outside.
You know, we've all had cars that were this good that Justin Allgaier is sitting in here right now. It's a lot of fun when you can do things that others just can't, as we see Cole Custer here once again trying to make that pass. But it just allows you to be able to take some chances that you know others can't. They're just strictly having to do basically one thing and one thing only, and you have options.
Allgaier now trying to get by Sam Mayer. They're door to door.
Yeah, it's going to get tougher as you get closer to the front to try to make these passes, and you have to be a little more calculative of where to make the pass, right? How to get the run in the side draft to make it work for you.
Is Ty Gibbs' spotter telling him Allgaier's 2 back?
No, I don't think so at all. I mean, Allgaier already said, look, I'm just going to go blow his doors off. He's not going to go up there and try to drive through the 19 car. I don't think that's his style. And I don't think the 19 has any. He's raced Justin long enough to know that he doesn't have anything physical coming if that 7 car actually gets back to him. Kaz Grala is going to move low here.
Yeah, if Justin Allgaier, sorry, Rick, if Justin Allgaier has any beef or wants any payback, it won't come today. He's got the best car here. There's no reason to take any chance of any contact or anything. He might try to get him loose to make the pass when he gets up there, but this is not the day to be worrying about that. Passing him is all that you want to do, and all that you have on your mind is going to the front.
Said he wanted to blow his doors off when he went by. Well, he's a couple positions away from fighting for that position. It's John Hunter Nemechek out in front of the field here at Michigan. Only 43 laps to go in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Cabo Wabo 250 from Michigan International Speedway. Here we see teammates Sam Mayer and Justin Allgaier. Those two fighting for the 8th position. Allgaier's running 9th right now.
It's been fun but frustrating to watch this battle because, you know, the 7 car's got a lot more speed, just cannot find a way around. It's so hard to know how to make this pass. I mean, and it's not that it's hard to pass a car. It's easy to get up beside them, but the side draft as a defense is what's tough to overcome. So this 1 car, 7's going to get underneath him down the back straightaway. He's got the momentum and the speed. Maybe this time he actually lets his teammate go, which he does. But if you wanted to, you could just side draft the 7, slow him back down, make him give that position back up.
So Allgaier got the spot, and 2 spots back is Ross Chastain. Marty, were we expecting a better performance out of this 10 car?
Well, remember they had the hole in the nose earlier, Rick. They patched that up. Ross Chastain at one point was 35th in this field, has stormed back up to the top 10, and that's kind of where the progress has stopped. So the car is better, but now it's gone the other way. Way too tight, not turning in the center of the corner. And you got to wonder if the weather's maybe playing a part in that, Kim. Gotten a lot cooler here in the last 20 minutes or so.
And checking in with a driver who needed a really good day, points-wise, that was Parker Kligerman. It has just been a battle all day for him. Currently resides in the 11th position. Hasn't been able really to move forward from that. They felt like they had a top 10 car, though. We'll see what he's able to do in the last 40 laps. He missed out on stage points, though, and that is a big deal. So much so that Patrick Donahue, the crew chief, got on the radio at the end of each stage to remind Parker that there was a little frustration between the two of them. So not a great points day when you're talking stage points. The same thing for Sheldon Creed, who runs right behind Parker Kligerman in the 12th position. Creed also missing out on stage points despite a strategy call by crew chief Jeff Stankiewicz at the end of stage 1 to take 2 tires to get track position. They were just not able to maintain throughout stage 2. Ended that stage 13th. So again, no stage points for Parker Kligerman or Sheldon Creed, who were desperate for a good points day based on where they stack up in the playoff grid.
Yeah, Kim, the bubble battle has changed 1 point, really. From the start of the race, Kligerman was 22 points back. Now he's only 21 points back. But a change up front, we saw Josh Berry get by Austin Hill for that 2nd spot. 1.5, now 1.6 seconds back from John Hunter Nemechek. And Berry looked to have the best car this weekend when we saw practice and qualifying. Does he have anything for him late in this race?
My opinion was that the 20 was the best car and the 19 was good as well. But Josh was a 3rd on my list. Now that he's clear of the 21, I don't see, at least the last lap time by, he was not as fast as the leader, Nemechek, but this time a little bit quicker, but just barely. The fastest car on the racetrack in the last few laps has been a toss-up between the 19 of Gibbs in 6th and the 7th car of Justin Allgaier in 7th. Those two running really quick laps, trying to run down these guys right here.
Yeah, you show that point battle, and yes, the points as far as cutting to the bubble haven't changed that much, but what has changed is Riley Herbst. And Riley Herbst is he is distancing himself from that bubble last week. He did a great job, got into a wreck, not of his making, still came back and finished 4th. This week, stage points in both stages. And Riley Herbst, DJ, I believe Riley Herbst is the most improved race car driver on the racetrack today. He is learning these lessons and applying them. He's not making mistakes. We saw earlier he could have gotten aggressive. He didn't. He got those stage points. He knows he has work to do. And I know Parker's a good road racer. I understand that, but so is Riley Herbst. It's going to be hard to knock Riley out of these playoffs.
Right now we're on the longest green flag run we've had of this race, 22 laps. And Steve, from down there on the Peacock pit box, we need to still stop again for fuel, correct?
Yeah, I believe the leaders are going to need fuel with somewhere between 20 and 15 to go, 17 to go. So the question will be, is it an automatic 4-tire change? Will anybody gamble on 2? I think you need to be close enough to the leader for 2 tires to work. See if you can leapfrog them. You see 26 laps since the last pit. That we expect them to be able to go about 46 to 48 laps on fuel.
Good battle here, continuing for 2nd as Austin Hill got back to the door of the 8 of Josh Berry.
Yeah, that was a good race. And I would say, Steve talked about the strategy of a green flag pit stop. My concern is, what is the driver going to do? The Xfinity Series does not have a lot of green flag stops. Let's go back and watch this action and catch the 0-2. he had some trouble. Hill tries to get underneath the 8 car. Josh Berry fights back and keeps the spot. But, you know, with limited green flag stops, the driver, you know, trying to get too much can make a mistake here, get caught on speeding on pit road. So if I'm a crew chief and I got an Xfinity driver, I'm already talking to him. Hey, we might have a green flag stop. I want you to start thinking about where your braking zone is getting to pit road.
Yeah, I'm just going to throw this out there that if I were looking and crew chief of the 9 car for Brandon Jones, who needs a win to make the playoffs, do you even consider letting the other guys pit first that are in front if you can hang on that long? See what they do. If they take either 2 or 4 tires, which is going to take a little bit longer, especially if they take 4, hey, I'm coming in for getting whatever gas I need and jumping out there and see if I can get out front, make them pass me.
And Kim, is there early strategy yet for the 98 of Riley Herbst? Are they thinking about a pit stop?
Haven't heard anything yet. They do have tires kind of leaning against the wall, but there's no sense of urgency in terms of a near pit stop. But you guys were talking about what a great race Riley has had, and I talked to him this morning about where his head at, and is he paying attention to what other teams around the elimination line are doing? He said no. He said, absolutely, I cannot get wrapped up in points. It's a distraction for him. So worrying about what other teams are doing isn't going to make my performance any better. He said, it isn't going to help me at all, so I can only focus on my race. That's what he's doing here today, currently running in the 4th position. He said that car is good in 1 and 2, but really tight all of a sudden in 3 and 4.
So Riley Herbst running in the 4th spot. In front of him, Nemechek and Berry. The gap 1.8 seconds between 1 and 2.
And green flag pit stops have started here at Michigan International Speedway. Justin Allgaier finishing up his stop. 4 tires, Sunoco fuel. He said he is really loose in dirty air, no front grip. As you see, more cars making their way down pit road, Marty.
Ty Gibbs going down pit road. He flashes by Cole Custer. Said the car just way too tight for Custer. He lost a lot of spots during that run. We'll see where all these guys cycle out as green flag stop start. Sam Mayer, by the way, also running in the top 10, really started this green flag cycle a couple of laps ago.
And the 8 of Josh Barrett, little trouble there on the right rear, maybe a slower stop than we were expecting during this green flag cycle. They were saying, be careful running the high line. You are right on the edge, Marty.
John Hunter Nemechek, the leader, comes to pit road here. They have had an incredible day after spinning on lap 11. One stage 2, so the car really good. What he needs is just a little bit more turn. 3 and 4 is what was really good for him. You see Austin Hill on pit road as well. Josh Berry leaving pit road, and Ross Chastain leaving pit road as well, Kim.
As Riley Herbst making his stop, he said he's good in 1 and 2, just really tight all of a sudden in 3 and 4. Right side Goodyear tires going on, a little air pressure adjustment for Riley there. Sunoco fuel as they put those left side tires on. Marty, it looks like Austin Hill coming down pit road.
Big issue for the 21, trying to get on pit road, really slow into his box, slow out of his box, Marty.
I don't know what gear I'm in. I think I'm in 4th. I think that's the only gear I have.
There you go. They have gear issues, transmission issues on Austin Hill. It happened when he tried to leave pit road. He said he thinks he only has 4th gear, and that's what happened. And now Justin Allgaier coming down pit road.
And Justin Allgaier having to serve a pass-through penalty, already made his stop earlier, so a detrimental day to what was a very, very fast race car.
Crew member over the wall too soon. The Xfinity Series doesn't see a lot of green flag pit stops, so they have to be perfect. And there was a problem with the 17 not being perfect on their pit stop, and so the pass-through penalty. Watch here as a crew member will jump over too soon. So unfortunate there for the 17 who looked extremely fast, but now the lap's winding down as far as the opportunity to make up for that mistake.
Yeah, pit road, the spin on pit road earlier, and then this penalty on the pit crew. Between the two things, the fastest car on the racetrack, unless something crazy happens, he is not going to have a chance to win this race. You have to minimize mistakes. Xfinity races are much shorter than Cup races, and you just so difficult to overcome them.
Allgaier had fought his way back up inside the top 10, then the mistake on pit road. An issue for the 21. Austin Hill was up there battling its top 5, says now they only have high gear. After green flag pit stops have happened, a few have stayed out. Brett Moffitt being one.
He's coming on the pit road right here. Have to assume that Ryan Ellis, the rest of those guys will be coming to pit road as well.
Sage Karam, Josh Williams, Joe Graff Jr.
So right here is the 20 car Nemechek, and there's the 8 of Josh Berry, which as this cycles, these will be the 2 lead cars. They have been swapping lap times the last couple of laps on the racetrack, but Berry just a little bit quicker.
2.1 seconds was the lead that the 20 had over the 8 prior to those stops.
He's going to have to run some killer laps to close the gap and make it a race here with just a few laps to go.
Now right now the same gap is there between the two, 2.5 seconds. Marty, what about the 00 of Cole Custer? Are they having some issues?
Yeah, Jeff called it. Green flag stops in the Xfinity Series. Cole Custer said he has a vibration. It's especially bad in the corners. And Jonathan Toney, his crew chief, said, I'll leave it up to you. He thinks the left front might be loose. They think they got him all tight, but Cole says, I think something could be loose. And then he asked, how many laps to go? They said 23. He's going to try and hang on for those final 23 laps with a vibration.
That's a tough call. As a driver, DJ, you get to a point where you're like, okay, it's shaking too bad, it's getting worse, I got to pit, or you just endure it for 23 laps and hope nothing happens.
Yeah, and I think some of that time, you have to consider where you're at. I mean, we talk about the speed at this racetrack. If there is an issue, it's just really not worth the chance. You're in the playoffs, you've got a couple of wins to your credit. Just don't know if it. And hopefully Cole will make that decision if it indeed does get worse, but it only takes a split second to have a bad accident.
Nemechek now cycled into the lead in the 20 car with Josh Berry in second. Roughly 2 seconds behind, but a 10th quicker each lap. Is the 20 trying to work through some tough traffic right here.
You see how much it slows down John Hunter as he has worked by some of the lap traffic. Ty Gibbs up to 3rd.
some winners and some losers during this pit stops. Riley Herbst, we've talked about him, how good of a job he's done all day. He's lost several spots here. He pitted a little bit later than some other guys. That hurt him on some speed. And then he came in and had a 16-second pit stop. So between those two things, it's basically 4 seconds that he lost. And so now he's given up 4 spots, or at least 3 spots. Let's see if he can go get them back. His car is fast, but you just can't make mistakes. And now he's running in 8th, Kligerman in 10th. There are some people that haven't pit yet. Joe Graff Jr. hasn't pitted yet. But a day where Riley Herbst could have had a top 3 or 4 finish, now he's fighting to make sure he stays in the top 8.
Yeah, the one thing it does is makes those first 2 stages to where he finished 5th and 4th even more important, and how impressive that was that he did to able to gain those points in case he's not able to get all of these positions back before the end of the race.
Riley Herbst, again, trying to gain back some ground that was lost. Berry has gained ground on Nemechek almost every lap. He's getting a little bit closer to that front.
Yeah, this last time by, almost 2/10 quicker than the 20 car. And that was a clean air for both drivers.
John Hunter Nemechek has clean air in front of him for at least a straightaway now as Josh Berry continues to chase.
This lap looks a little bit better for Nemechek.
Gibbs, Brandon Jones, 9 seconds back. Brandon Jones up here in the top 5. Not a win, obviously, for the team, but definitely something positive.
Yeah, I think it's been one of his better races all year long. He's earned points today in the stages with 7 of those. He's going to need more. And road courses are coming up as we head toward the playoffs, and that has not been Brandon Jones' strong point this year. He would like to have a yellow to have a shot at this, to be able to put himself in the playoffs.
Well, we talked about green flag pit stops and making mistakes. Here was some communication from Justin Allgaier after that last stop.
Fastest car on the track. Yeah, we might be the fastest car on the racetrack, but we're almost a lap down. We're going to have to all take a good long look in the mirror tonight when we get home, all I can tell you.
And dejected. It's a team sport, and when you have a mistake on pit road, which ends up being, now there are 2 guys that can be over the wall already before he gets to this box, but there are 3 that are on the ground as he comes into that stall in front of him. And I think the Jackman was trying to jump and hang in the air longer than he possibly could, and so that penalty definitely hurts the team and put them a lap down.
It's a game of inches, and sometimes it falls in your favor and sometimes it doesn't. We saw him getting on the pit road, the 19 beating him on the pit road and everything, and all of that timing can throw things off just a little bit. But there's been races too when Justin's made the mistake. This team sort of had some of the faster cars. As far as at Junior Motorsports, they've been, I think, a better team all year long, and each week they've been really, really fast, but mistakes. And it's not just one thing, it's a lot of different types of mistakes. And once they clean those up, I think that Justin and the team will be tough to beat, because the speed is absolutely there, and especially in the last 3 or 4 weeks, Junior Motorsports has really found something.
Yeah, they're going to want to clean them up over the next 5 races before playoffs get underway. Let's go through the field. We'll start with Marty and John Hunter Nemechek.
Yeah, Jeff mentioned it earlier, Rick, the crazy couple of weeks for John Hunter Nemechek. 2 wins, then back-to-back 34th and 32nd, and here he sits with 15 to go, maybe looking at another win this year. And when you look at the regular season points battle, it's crazy. Right now, just +7 over Austin Hill. Going to be fun to watch these final 5 races of the year, Kim.
And Josh Berry running in the 2nd position. He was thrust into double duty this weekend, having to replace Noah Gragson in the 42 car on the Cup side. And I said, how does that affect your Xfinity Series side? And he said, it shouldn't. That's because I'm taking one thing at a time. I'm compartmentalizing each thing. I just have to keep the task in front of me. Right now, doing a great job of that, running 2nd in front of Ty Gibbs. What a rebound after getting stacked up with his teammates Sammy Smith, and John Hunter Nemechek was very frustrated frustrated with John Hunter using that as motivation as he runs in the 3rd position, Marty.
Kim, in our pre-race show, Steve said Brandon Jones is trending up. Good call by Steve on that. And JRM, we mentioned the speed that they have brought lately. He told me earlier today, he said the next couple of races, I just want to survive. I know I'm not a road course racer. The Xfinity Series has 2 in a row, but what an impressive 4th place run so far for Brandon Jones. Is that loose wheel for Cole Custer sitting in 5th getting any better? Listen on the radio.
No, it's only in the corners. The steering wheel, the whole hood's vibrating. I don't know what to tell you, bud. I mean, I don't know if it's worth the risk or not.
Cautions
As the
come
caution
out.
comes out, yes, that's going to change things, and Cole Custer will be happy to hear that, Rick.
Patrick Emmerling in the 35. Slow on the racetrack. You see problems with that right front.
Looks like he's had some contact with the wall, obviously, but
Went in the corner, blew his tires.
the tires actually look okay on the right side. I'm not sure if he's got a left front tire down that sent him up into the fence. Judging by the contact, not severe enough for a right front tire failure, so looking like maybe the left front went down.
Patrick was running in the 28th position when he got up into the wall, and so that means a restart. Take a look at what happened here with Patrick.
Yeah, that's left front tire. You see it bottoming out the splitter into the wall there.
Yeah, the first question is from the crew chiefs: are they going to pit or not? You know, is there enough speed gain in putting on new tires and giving up track position? There's 19 cars on a lead lap. Steve, I'm not so sure I could hit pit road if I'm the 20 car, but maybe back in the field you do.
Well, the problem is they don't have new tires. With only 3 sets for the day, they've put all 3 sets on. They do have perhaps cooler tires. Remember, that first stage was so broken up with yellows that there is probably a lower lap set of scuffs, or probably even the same amount of scuffs. You know, these only have 16, 18 laps on them, like Nemechek was on pit road just 16 laps ago. So I don't think there's any chance you come to pit road if you're the top 10 or 12 cars. To your point, Jeff, maybe back in the field, somebody like Allgaier, does he want to make an adjustment? Does he think cooler tires will fire off better? Maybe a gamble back there, but for the leaders, I think it is what you have. Now it's all about picking right and having a great restart.
And maybe a little help from behind you.
Yeah, definitely. To what Steve said, picking right, the choose cone, that's going to matter right here, because whoever wins this race is going to need the help from behind to get clear and get down into turn 1. If you can find yourself clear into turn 1 by that push you get from behind, and I think choosing the outside is absolutely the way to go. You box yourself, you box the car in behind you with the wall and the traffic below. And so if you choose the inside, you put yourself at risk being taken 3 wide. The car behind you doesn't have to commit. They're going to go for the win. So I'm choosing the outside here. Josh Berry, what does he do? Does he go to the inside? Does he go to the outside and push Nemechek?
And if he does go to the inside, he potentially has his teammate in Brandon Jones behind him. And so, but you also have 2 Toyotas running nose to tail.
Yeah, you just never know. I think if you don't take the top, if I bury, I push Nemechek down into turn 1 and I push him in there far. You know, and I get him up the track. I push him in there as far as I can.
I think you got to take the top here, buddy.
I agree with that. That's TJ Majors, his spotter. I think if you check the bottom, then you're allowing Nemechek and Gibbs to team up. Yep. And they are not going to do you any favors down here into turn 1. They're going to try to do everything they can to maintain that 1-2 down into 1 on the top side. So
pit road is open now. We'll see if there are any takers that come down, maybe to put a little cooler tires on. But as Steve had mentioned, more than likely nobody out of the top 10 is going to do it.
If you think back to Pocono, and Josh Berry was in a position to win that race, he got sent down into turn 1 on the restart, got pushed by Austin Hill, got loose. That ended up sending him up the racetrack, and that cost him the win. I'd think back to that and do it the other way.
Cole Custer's going to come onto pit road. He was in 5th.
Yeah, you talked about that vibration, guys. You have to imagine they're coming out pit road to check that out. Kim.
And Justin Allgaier, you see on the top right there, they were just going to do what the leaders didn't do at this point. Thinks probably they could have a little bit of an advantage with these tires. So 4 Goodyear tires and a little drink of Sunoco fuel, Marty.
Yeah, putting on the scuffs here for Cole Custer. You heard how bad the vibration was for him. Said literally the hood cowl, the pedals, everything was shaking inside the car. So Jonathan Tony really said, hey, I will leave it up to you. If you want to stay out, that's fine. If you want to pit, that's fine. But that left front, you see him taking time with that. That's where the issue was. And he also wanted them to check underneath the car to make sure something was not wrong. The vibration was that bad.
Drop the jack. Cole Custer will go back out on the racetrack. A restart with under 10 laps to go at Michigan. A fight for the win in front of Nemechek and Berry. NBC and the Big Ten have big news. Well, break out your Big Ten school colors. You can celebrate the inaugural Big Ten Day national holiday on Thursday, August 10th. Dust off your best jersey. You can share photos of your school pride with hashtag Big Ten Day and enter for a chance to win a trip to the 2024 Big Ten Saturday night game. A lot of Michigan jerseys here, obviously, in the state of Michigan. Pretty good move here with the deck on top of the school bus there. Haven't seen a lot of Nebraska jerseys out here. I'm not sure why, but probably not in the state of Nebraska, or probably not in the state of Michigan. As we get ready for the choose.
It's not basketball season, Rick.
And we're thinking that it's Nemechek and Berry are going to go high.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's your best chance for either driver.
Berry's faking low. Now he jumps back in line with Nemechek. We'll see what he does here.
He's going to the top. Gibbs going to go to the bottom. I think Brandon Jones, that was going to be an interesting choice to see what he did. I think he did the right thing going to the outside.
So now Brandon Jones and Josh Berry will line up nose to tail. And those two are teammates. Nemechek and Gibbs, they had a difference of opinion earlier in the race. Marty.
Let's chat with Ben Bayshore, the crew chief for John Hunter Nemechek. I know the caution isn't what you wanted here, but how do you feel about your shot on this restart with your teammate on your inside?
Yeah, I think you're going to, as wide as this track is, as many lanes, this could get pretty interesting, but I got a lot of confidence in John Hunter to go get the job done in this Mobil 1 Supra, and hopefully bring it home here.
Any chance you'll ask the 19 for help here?
Yeah, I think they're deep squashed, and now the pay window's open. I hope they work together here. So, yeah.
It'll be fun to watch John Hunter Nemechek with an incredible rally. Can he close it out for another win here in 2023?
And Marty, what you were referencing earlier, there was a disagreement here between the 19 and 20. This was very early in the race. When the 20 got into the back of the 19 probably was a little bit loose before that, but the two felt like the other did them wrong, and so we even saw the 19 pull up beside the 20 after the caution had come out. And also involved with that was the 18 of Sammy Smith and the 77 of Carson Hocevar. As now, with 7 laps to go at Michigan, Nemechek on the outside, Gibbs on the inside. No pushing, as now everyone jockeying for position as they go into one. 3 wide for 4th. Josh Berry with the momentum on the high side. We'll see if he can do anything with it. Now Brandon Jones has moved up into 3rd.
Big run for Jeb Burton down there on the inside, down the back straightaway in the 27 car.
Closest we have seen the 8 of Josh Berry to John Hunter Nemechek.
Yeah, he'd like to get there and make a move before the 3rd place car, Brandon Jones, gets any closer to where he doesn't have to worry about making a move that didn't work that time and then taking another run or losing the spot.
Yeah, we felt like Josh Berry had the fastest car before this caution, but now right behind the 20, aerodynamically, he's in a bad spot. He's going to have to find a way to run a different line than John Hunter's running.
Allgaier in that 7, moving up as we see the 11 of Daniel Hemrick backing through the field. And the gap a little bit wider now between 1 and 2. Coming up on 5 laps to go.
So right now, Josh Berry needs to run the line he thinks is the best for him. Try it one more time in 1 and 2. If you do not make ground, then you've got to try something else. Up the racetrack, Berry looks like he's got a good run down this back straightaway. Let's see if he can if he gains any at all. Looks like he may have lost a little bit, so now it's time to try something different. It's not enough time to keep going back to the same well, thinking you're going to get a different result. Running a little bit lower now.
Hey, stick that nose out there. See if he can get just a little air to the left front to help him turn and accelerate up off the corner.
We'll see if he goes a little lower here in 1 and 2. Well, that high line didn't work for him the last 2 times.
All right, so he was quicker and he gained a little bit, so now he saw it. Now you're going to just have to run below John Hunter. But see, it doesn't work in 3 and 4. I'm sorry, 1 and 2. This is the side of the racetrack that is just not working.
And he lost a lot of ground there, and here comes the 9. Brandon Jones fighting for that second. They make contact.
I think Brandon was trying to decide whether he wanted to pass him or not. Pass him, help him, I don't know. But now the 8 looks out of the racetrack, looks uncomfortable. They're side by side down the front straightaway.
And John Hunter loves to see this. He knows they're doing battle. So see right here, you mentioned that the 9, I think he thought he was going to jump on the outside of the 8.
8 was so much slower than the 9 when they were entering turn 3. The 9 couldn't get out of the way fast enough. But now as these two are fighting for second, John Hunter Nemechek pulling away. Over 1 second separating them.
19 of Ty Gibbs has drove up to the back bumper of Brandon Jones now, running that high line. There you see Sam Mayer back there in the 1 car creeping into the picture. Sam in 5th place.
2 laps to go. 1.2 seconds the gap. John Hunter Nemechek could check off one of those milestones for Joe Gibbs Racing. If they're able to get back up front and hold on for the win, it would be the 200th Xfinity Series win for Joe Gibbs Racing.
And they're just hoping that nothing's happening back here in the back of the pack. There's a lot of hard racing going on in the back half of the field. He's got this one wrapped up if they can get to the white flag.
See Allgaier diving to the inside. Hemrick now coming across the line. 1 lap to go. Presented by Credit One Bank. Berry and Jones. Almost a 1.5 seconds back, but Jones still fighting for that spot, trying to get second away as they have just the backstretch to go. The 16 smoking. Looks like he might have got into the wall. Chandler Smith, more issues with that car. John Hunter Nemechek coming into this race. 4 wins already on the 2023 season. Make it 5. He's going to win in Michigan.
Thank you for all that you do. Grateful for the opportunity.
And the crew will begin to celebrate. Ben Bayshore was a little bit nervous, it looked like, when Marty was talking to him before the restart. No reason for nerves now. 200 Xfinity Series wins for Joe Gibbs Racing. 90 of those came from Kyle Busch when he was running for JGR. Joey Logano, a young Joey Logano, when he was with JGR, had 18. Denny Hamlin 17, Christopher Bell 17. But the one grabbing the milestone win is John Hunter Nemechek.
For Joe Gibbs Racing. First driver ever to win a race for Joe Gibbs Racing, standing right next to me, Dale Jarrett. It's amazing it came from that to where they are today.
Yeah, just an incredible organization. Been well run through the years, and just keep bringing drivers that are capable of winning races for them. That's what it's all about. And John Hunter did a great job. Never getting frustrated out there today after what happened early on in the race, and bringing home this 200th Xfinity win for them.
He's got the special flag hanging out of the driver's side door. Again, win number 200 for Joe Gibbs Racing in the Xfinity Series, and his career win. Number 7.
Unstrapping from the car. Pull the helmet off here in just a moment as he climbs out.
Unbuckle himself, get out of the car. There he is, ladies and gentlemen.
Pulls the gloves off as he's pulling the hat off. Kim, I believe you've caught up with the winner here at Michigan.
And what a big win it is. 200th Xfinity Series wins for JGR, and he sets himself apart from the field with his 5th win on the season. Wow. Can you believe it? Your team told you you made a win out of that. They've referenced the early race incident. You rebounded. You survived a late race restart. How'd you do it?
A great team, and man, I'm grateful for this whole 20 bunch, grateful for Joe Gibbs Racing, this opportunity, Mobile One, Pi Barker, all of our great partners that help us get to the racetrack. And our Toyota GR Supra was as fast as Xfinity 10G today, but I have to apologize to Ty. I've been the one that's been very vocal about teammates here recently, and I put him in a bad aero spot, got him loose, and then couldn't check up, and it's my mistake. So I hate that we both spun early, but at least we both rebounded decently. I know he's not too happy with me, so he has every right not to be. But thankful for my team, all the guys. Win number 5 after the last 2 weeks. We said that we needed to come out here and answer, and we were able to do that today here in Michigan. And man, what a great crowd. This is awesome. Thank all you fans for coming out. Appreciate it. Taylor and Aspen are actually at home, so I'll see them when I get home. But hopefully at the start of the day today, Taylor is due any day now. So who knows, we may go have a baby tonight. That'd be awesome.
You apologized to Ty Gibbs, your teammate. What do you think the reception is going to be? He was very vocal about how you raced him.
I think that we both need to talk, and I definitely will initiate that conversation. I got to go back and see a replay too. I don't know too much of what happened. I know that he had cleared me and I had slid up behind him, and I think when I slid, it took the air off the rear bumper. He checked up, and then I barely tapped him in the back, and then I got ran into. So just chain reaction of events, and probably shouldn't have put myself in that situation. Just need to be a little bit smarter, but we'll see how he receives it. Grateful to still be here and win this race, but we definitely will chat about it.
Enjoy the win.
Thank you.
John Hunter Nemechek, 5th win of the season for this team.
And remember, they're fighting for a championship. So John Hunter Nemechek in victory lane, gaining some valuable playoff points that will help him as they go through the playoffs. Well, the other side of that is Justin Allgaier, who looked strong early. Mistakes on pit road got him into the back, got him a lap down, and you see the dejection from Allgaier as he sits on pit road wall by himself, thinking about what might have got away.